Welcome everyone to our discussion today about Windows 10 end of life and upgrading to Windows 11 and everything that goes into that and how that will affect you and your business. My name is Peter Meredith. I'm the Business Development Officer here at Tech Eagles, and I am joined today by TJ. He's our General Manager, and
and
I'll let him.
resident smart aleck for the most part. So Peter, I'm just going to get us started off with the question. I thought Windows 10 was supposed to be the last version of Windows ever.
Yeah, well, it kind of was. Microsoft started out saying Windows 10 would be the last operating system, the last Windows operating system there would be. But all of us security professionals, all of us IT people, we said, I don't think so.
Uh,
I think they're going to come out with a new one. And what do you know? In 2021, they released Windows 11. So Windows 11 is the latest and greatest operating system from Microsoft. It came out in 2011 or 2021, but today it still only has 28% of the computers are on Windows 11 compared to Windows 10 has 67% of the computers. So it's kind of a big deal. A lot of computers are still using Windows 10, and the end of life date for Windows 10 is October 14th, 2025. So we are
yep,
still a year out, but this end of life date is coming up.
yep. And so you may be asking yourself what end of life means. Does that mean that my computer is automatically going to stop working, or is it shut down, or do I just get a slap on the wrist, or what's going on? The number one big thing of what end of life means, especially for businesses, is that Windows 10 will stop getting security updates. So that is extremely important, especially for those businesses and industries that are under some kind of regulation, such as HIPAA or CMMC. But technically, all businesses are under NIST, which is our cybersecurity guidelines, and everybody can be, penalized for any kind of personal information leak. So you definitely want to make sure that you're up and going. So what else is end of life mean, Peter?
Yeah, so end of life has a whole bunch of things that go into it. It's basically that is when Microsoft stops working on Windows 10. No more security updates, no more quality of life updates, nothing. And what ends up happening is other software companies, the people that make the web browsers, the people that make the different applications that you use, they slowly start dropping Windows 10 support also. So over time, what you'll see is not only will your operating system not stop getting updates, everything else on your computer will slowly stop getting updates, and they'll push everything to Windows 11. So you
I
might be.
think one of the most common that I've seen though from a security standpoint of view is your endpoint security protection. What they will do also, they will have an end of life for Windows 10. And when it hits that point, they don't stop working on it, but they do start sending you a bill for more money, saying that it costs us more money to continue keeping this protected. So you're going to be charged X amount of dollars per computer that you have it on. And they do not give much warning for that, and it is not a small amount. So it just
Yeah,
kind of shows up. So
yeah, and it's a big deal to have security updates, and um, your operating system is the main. It doesn't matter how good your antivirus is. If your operating system has a vulnerability, bad guys can get in. You might be asking yourself, upgrading to Windows 11, does this mean I need to get a new computer? Not necessarily, but unfortunately, Windows 11 requires that the CPU, which is like the brain of your computer, it requires that that the CPU be compatible with TPM 2.0, which is the Trusted Platform Module, And unfortunately, there are a lot of computers that do not have TPM 2.0 capabilities. And this would mean that, yes, you would have to get a new computer.
Yeah. So if you're a resident survivor of the Windows 7 to 10 upgrade, so the actual upgrade itself is not as intensive as what that was. The upgrade from Windows 10 to 11 is actually quite a bit easier, but Microsoft did enforce this new hardware component of a requirement on it. So what we are seeing is there are going to be a greater amount of cases where, yes, unfortunately, it does mean you're going to need a new computer. But there's ways we can check that, and there's other paths that you can take too. So, and that's what we're going to be discussing.
Yeah. So if you want to know, hey, can my computer upgrade to Windows 11 or do I need to buy a new computer? And you can find that out by going down to the Windows icon on your computer, and right there in the search bar, you can type update, and then what should appear is the Windows Update Center. And when you open it, it should look something like this. And you can see here, if you see this blue bar at the top, Windows 11 is ready and it's free, and you have a download and install button, that means your computer is capable of upgrading to Windows 11. You might see underneath, if you don't see this blue bar, you might see a little icon underneath the check for updates that says this computer is not compatible with Windows 11. If you don't see either of those options, the best way is to download Microsoft's PC Health Check app. And TJ is going to throw the link in the chat to show you guys where you can download that. That'll take you to a quick little application that will run a check on your computer and let you know if you can upgrade to Windows 11 or not.
Yeah, and that is an extremely handy app to just have on your computer, for the most part at all time when it comes to your home computer. Now, if you're talking about one of your business computers or something like that, there will be certain functions of that that will probably not work based on other security requirements and stuff like that. But for home computers, it's a full blown thing that will make sure that your home firewalls on different things like that, as well as tell you if your home PC can upgrade to Windows 11. But it does give you a good idea if your computer is compatible with Windows 11 or not.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So what is the process for upgrading Windows 11? Like TJ mentioned earlier, the transition from 10 to 11 is far smoother and easier than it was to go from 7 to 8 or 7 to 10 or 8 to 10. The Windows 11 is structured very similarly to Windows 10, and the upgrade process is pretty straightforward. For businesses, however, it's important to take in consideration all of the different business software that you use and making sure that all of your data transfers properly. So it's best to really not do this yourself if you're working from a business computer. It's best to let some IT professionals take care of updating your computer just to ensure that all of the applications you use are compatible and all of the data that you have is transferred properly.
Yeah, and one of the biggest reasons for that, your main line of business software may be compatible with Windows 11, but it may have a niche where it needs to be updated first, and then you update to Windows 11 in order for the database to be transferred forward. So we do see some weird stuff like that sometimes. So doing a little bit of preparatory work can save you a lot of headache and money on the back end. So that's why we are talking about this day and going to be giving some options to help everybody out. So.
Absolutely. Yeah, and sometimes we even see your line of business software might not be compatible with Windows 11, and it might only be compatible with Windows 10. And you might be asking yourself, well, what do I do then? I have to update to get the security updates, but my software doesn't work on Windows 11.
Yeah.
So in that situation, Microsoft has a solution, and it's called an extended security license. So if your business software cannot run on Windows 11, but it can run on Windows 10, it may be financially the best option to choose an extended security license. So this will extend the security updates for your computer, but it has an additional cost. Microsoft has not released the price for this, but I think we can safely guess based on previous ESU licenses that it's probably going to be between $5 and $10 a month per computer.
Yeah, sometimes it's higher. But one thing you got to keep in mind on this with the ESU license, let's say, we're October 2025 and you're not sure what you're going to do, get busy for the holiday. Hey, it's February of 2026 now, and I need to put ESU on my computer. Well, you can't just start paying for it then. You've got to go and back pay since October 2025 on every single computer that you're putting this on. So, and that's part of the reason why we're talking about this so early, is so you can be preparing for this. Because one of the other common occurrences we will see, once again, comes down to your line of business software that you use, that they may say, hey, this version is not compatible with Windows 11. This version is only compatible with Windows 10. Our new version is compatible with Windows 11, but it is $10,000. So you're going to have to start building that into your budget to get ready to upgrade that. And you may think,
right,
hey, $10,000, that's a lot of money. And it is, promise you. But these ESU license, the extra money you'll start paying out in endpoint protection, the risk that you are taking, because even though you are getting security updates through these ESUs, they are not as quick or on day one, like something. If there's a day one vulnerability that comes out with some kind of new malware or ransomware, they're going to hit what Windows 11 is going to get upgraded first. Windows 10 is an afterthought. So, yeah, there's exponential costs that keep building up that you got to keep in mind here on those. Once again, why we
Yep.
were talking about this so early.
Yep, exactly. That's why we're trying to stay on top of it and trying to keep you guys on top of it as well. And keep in mind again that ESU licenses also only extend for 3 years. So you after 3 years, that's the limit. Then you don't even have an ESU
Yeah,
option.
and that's not even a guarantee. That's just an educated guess by us, because
Yes.
that's typically what Microsoft does. They will do for 3 years before they fully cut people off. But once again, Windows 10 was the last operating system to ever come out, according to them. So you
Yep.
never know. You never know.
Exactly. So we've kind of touched on it briefly. What if you do nothing? What if you don't upgrade? What if you don't pay for an ESU? Well, that is going to cause increased costs for your support, for your antivirus, for your software. Your insurance might drop your coverage if your device is past end of life and not on an ESU license. Your compliance, if you have to comply with HIPAA or you have to comply with any other regulation, that is going to drop. You'll not be compliant.
Another one's your business insurance too. I want to throw that in there as well.
Yep.
So that's one to check with. Also, if you do nothing, at least check with your business insurance, because they may not accept the extended the ESUs. They may not accept those.
They might not.
So even if you are technically secure through extended license and everything like that, and your stuff's up to date, you have a breach, your business insurance may be like, nope, we've got a past end of life clause and we're not going to cover you. So if you do nothing else, please do that to check. So that could
absolutely
be absolutely catastrophic.
So sadly, every option ends up having a cost.
Yep.
You either pay to upgrade to Windows 11, you pay for new computers, you pay for an extended license, or you pay in increased fees, in non-compliance, and in increased risk if you do nothing. So how can Tech Eagles help? Well, if you're already a client of Tech Eagles, we are already looking at this. we are in the works to do a free audit for all of our clients, and we'll be sending you guys updates on what computers you have can upgrade to Windows 11 and what computers you have cannot. And we'll be in the works with planning to replace, update, and do all of the work as needed. If you are not a client, the same still applies. You can just reach out to us. We're happy to do a audit for you guys for free. And as part of that, we will analyze each computer and determine if it can be upgraded to Windows 11.
Yeah, that way you can give it to your current IT provider or your IT person if you have one. Or if you are kind of a smaller or a larger small business and you only have like one IT person on staff, we'd be more than glad to assist them in helping you get you all updated. Like I said, we'll do that assessment for free. That at least gets you started on knowing what your options are and how to go about that stuff. So, but yeah, we're here for you on that and to also answer any questions and help out with that. For our existing clients, like Peter said, we're already on top of it. We're already looking into it. We're also looking at a lot of the top of the line of business softwares that we know a lot of you all use just to see when and things are compatible and things like that. So even though we can upgrade to Windows 11 right now, it may be that you're running XYZ software that is not going to be Windows 11 ready till February of 2025. So we would schedule to start your transition then over to Windows 11. So the earlier you contact us and let us know you're ready, the better we can start getting ready to get you a budget so you can prepare. Oh no, I have to replace 15 computers or 30 computers. We can start doing a small rollout and getting them, a few at a time to help get you there before that deadline. So,
Yep. Again, just like TJ said, don't wait. Don't let it catch up on you and come find that you need to replace 10, 15, 20 computers all at once.
Because if we hear of that, you may end up being the subject of one of our stories for our next month's webinar, which I hope everybody comes and tunes in because we are going to be telling some spooky cybersecurity horror stories next month. So please don't end up being the subject of one of those.
Absolutely. Yep. And again, just the last thing I'll mention, the date of October 14th, 2025 is not necessarily a hard deadline. You could replace or update things slightly after that, but the challenge is that the bad guys also have that date. So what they do, if they find a vulnerability in Windows 10, they're going to not use it. They're going to try and keep it a secret and wait until October 15th, and then they're going to use it because Microsoft is not going to fix that issue for people who don't have an ESU after October 14th. So although it is not a hard deadline, it's not like after the 14th your computer won't work or you'll instantly be hacked, but we do see the risk increases by an enormous amount the day after it ends.
Yep. All kinds of fun stuff on that. Thanks.
Well, thank you all for joining us today. If you have any questions about Windows 10, Windows 11, or any other IT or cybersecurity issues, just feel free to give us a call or send us an email or visit our website at techeagles.com.
Yep, we'll be more than glad to help you out. Until next time, just let us know if you have any questions that didn't get answered here today. Our contact details will be up on the screen afterwards, or you can always visit us at techeagles.com and find all of our contact information there. Until next time, thank you all, and we hope you all have a great day and hope you have a great weekend coming up.